I not deceive you. I bring you here to show you de stronary place I have diskiver, and ask you what you tink of him." "Well, show it me quickly, and then let us hasten home." Without replying, the negro clambered up a somewhat steep and rugged path which brought them to the base of a low precipice which was partially fringed with bushes. Pushing one of these aside, he entered a small cavern not much larger than a sentry box, which seemed to have no outlet, but Ebony, placing his right foot on a projection of rock just large enough to receive it, raised himself upwards so as to place his left foot on another projection, which enabled him to get on what appeared to be a shelf of rock. Rising up, he entered another cavern. "A strange place truly, but very dark," said Rosco. "Does it extend far?" "You'll see, just now," muttered the negro, obtaining a light by means of flint and steel, with which he kindled a torch. "You see, I's been 'sploring here before, an' got tings ready." So saying, he carried Rosco through several winding passages, until he gained a cavern so large and high that the torch was unable to reveal either its extent or its roof. "Wonderful! Why did you not tell us of this place before, Ebony?" "'Cause I only just diskiver him, 'bout a week past. I tink him splendid place for hide our women and children in, if we's ever 'tacked by savages. See, I even make some few preparations, got straw in de corner for lie on. Soon get meat and drink, if him's required." "Very suitable indeed, but if you have brought me here to hide, as I still suspect, my poor fellow, you have troubled yourself in vain, for my mind is made up." "Dat's berry sad, massa, berry sad," returned Ebony, with a deep sigh, "but you no object sit on de straw for a bit, and let me rest. Dere now, you's growin' heavier every day, massa. I stick de torch here for light. Look, here you see I hab a few tings. Dis is one big of rope, wid a loop on him." "And what may that be for?" asked Rosco, with some curiosity. "For tie up our enemies, when we's catched 'em. Dis way, you understand." As he spoke, Ebony passed the loop over Rosco's shoulders and drew it tight so as to render his arms powerless, and before the latter realized what he was about, his legs were also securely bound. "Surely you do not mean to keep me here by force?" cried Rosco angrily. "I's much afraid, massa, dat's 'zactly what I mean." "Come, come, Ebony, you have carried this jest far enough. Unbind me." "Berry sorry to oblige you, massa, but dat's impossible just now." "I command you, sir, to undo this rope," cried Rosco fiercely. "Dere's a good deal ob de ole ring about dat, sar, but you's not a pirate cappen now, an' I ain't one ob de pirate crew." Rosco saw at once the absurdity of giving way to anger, and restrained himself. "But you cannot restrain my voice, Ebony," he continued, "and I promise you that I will shout till I am heard." "Shout away, massa, much as you please. Bust ye's lungs, if you like, for you're in de bowels ob de hill here." Rosco felt that he was in the negro's powers and remained silent. "I's berry sorry to leave you tied up," said Ebony, rising to quit the place, "but when the men is foolish like little boys, dey must be treat de same. De straw will keep you comfor'ble. I daren't leave de torch, but I'll soon send you food by a sure messenger, and come back myself soon as ever I can." "Stay, Ebony. I'm at your mercy, and as no good can come of my remaining bound, I must give in. Will you unbind me if I promise to remain quiet?" "With pleasure," said the negro cheerfully, as his glistening teeth showed themselves. "You promise to wait here till I come for you?" "I promise." "And you promise not to shout?" "I do." In a moment the rope was cast off, and Rosco was free. Then Ebony, bidding him keep up his heart, glided out of the cavern and left him in profound darkness. Captain Fitzgerald searched the island, high and low, far and wide, without success, being guided during the search chiefly by Ebony. That wily negro, on returning to the village, found that the search had already begun. The captain had taken care that no one, save those to whom he had already spoken, should know what or who he was searching for, so that the pirate might not be prematurely alarmed. Great, therefore, was his surprise when he was accosted by the negro, and asked in a mysterious manner to step aside with him out of earshot of the sailors who assisted him. "What have you got to say to me, my man?" he asked, when they had gone a few yards into the palm grove. "You's lookin' for the pirate," said Ebony in a hoarse whisper, and with a superhumanly intelligent gaze. "Why, how came you to know that?" asked the captain, somewhat perplexed and thrown off his guard. "Ho, ho!" laughed Ebony in a subdued voice. "How's I comes to know that, eh? I come to knows many tings by putting dis and dat together. You's cap'n of man o' war? Well, you no come here for nothing. Well, Rosco, de pirate, de horrible scoundrel, hims live here. Of course, you come for look for him. Hofficers ob de British Navy got nothing else to do but cotch and hang sich varmints, eh? Is right?" "Well, no," returned Captain Fitzgerald, laughing, "not altogether right, as to the duties of officers of the British Navy. However, you are right as to my object, and I see that this pirate is no friend of yours." "No friend! Oh, no, not at all. Him's far more nor dat. I lub him as a brudder," said the negro with intense energy. Captain Fitzgerald laughed again, for he supposed that the negro spoke ironically, and Ebony extended his thick lips from ear to ear because he foresaw and intended that the captain would fall into that mistake. "Now you lose no time in search for him," said Ebony, "and dish your nigger will show you de way." "Do, my fine fellow, and when we find him I'll not forget your services." "You's berry good, a'most too good," said Ebony, with an affectionate look at his new employer. So, as we have said, the village and island were searched high and low without success. At last, while the searching party was standing, baffled, on the shore farthest from the village, Captain Fitzgerald stopped abruptly, and looking Zeppa in the face, exclaimed, "Strange, is it not? And the island so small comparatively?" "Quite unaccountable," answered Zeppa, who, with his son, had at last joined in the search out of sheer anxiety as to Rosco's fate. "Most perplexing," said Orlando. "Most amazing," murmured Ebony, with a look of disappointment that baffles description. Suddenly the negro pointed to the beach, exclaiming, "Oh, I knows it now. Look dere. You see two small canoes? Dere were t'ree canoes dere yesterday. De tide one of 'em. Dere now. Look!" They all looked eagerly at the horizon, where a tiny speck was seen,